Welcome to my wonderful video of this week. I'm so glad to be here, just checking that everything works, but apparently it is. My name is Andrea Caprio, and I'm really glad being here with you to speak about one thing that is really very dear to my heart, or shall I say dear to my gut, because I want to speak about how to repair leaky gut naturally. Last week we spoke actually a little bit more about gut health, and maybe you followed that video already. If not, you can always check it out just here. But we talked a lot about gut health and how to improve it, but I want particularly to talk about about leaky gut today. And did you know that I actually have two digestive specializations, and my own journey improving my own digestive health is actually what brought me to become a transformational and master certified transformational nutrition coach with those specialties I have in weight loss and emotional eating, in hormonal health, diabetes, and as I said, gut health, digestive health, right? And I'm super passionate about, because I really believe digestive health is kind of the basis of overall health. It influences our hormones and all other kind of things, and it's the gut is also very much connected with your brain. There's actually a gut-brain axis that is bidirectional, so what happens in your brain, the emotions and so on, will have an effect on your gut, and also vice versa. But now I want to talk about leaky gut. First of all, let's explore a little bit what leaky gut is, what obviously causes a gut to be leaky, and then we can talk about a couple of things that can help you overcome a leaky gut should you have so. Now, I know leaky gut sounds a little bit strange for many people, and it is, by the way, not a sort of medical term. The medical body seems to recognize it a little bit more, but it is actually an intestinal permeability. And basically what that means is that your digestive tract, the small intestines actually, they have a wall, and when this wall is not anymore permeable, when it's not anymore working fully, eventually food is being let through, or food particles can go through and can land in your bloodstream. And this is something you definitely don't want it to happen, because that can lead to a lot of health issues. Now, various symptoms that can lead from a leaky gut is that, for example, you have things like fatigue, you have, of course, all kind of gastrointestinal problems like bloating, cramping. It can lead, very importantly to know, it can lead to autoimmune disorders, it can lead to depression, diabetes, and so many other health issues that you might have from a leaky gut. A leaky gut itself you might not really know necessarily, and it's also very difficult actually to find out. That is something I would recommend to find a functional medicine or a functional nutrition specialist who can help you a little bit more. They're a little bit more versed in finding out if you have a leaky gut, and then help you. But know that a lot of health issues are actually stemming from a leaky gut. Now, what causes a leaky gut? And there's a little bit, I would say sometimes it's a bit the chicken and egg story, right? What comes first? But often, you need to find the cause of the leaky gut, and also what other things are caused by a leaky gut. So they go kind of a little bit together. So one thing that might cause a leaky gut is that stress is a huge thing, and maybe it sounds funny to you, but definitely stress will lead to issues in your digestive tract, right? So for example, when you are stressed, your digestive function, such as your stomach acid, such as digestion, absorption of nutrients, etc., is not functioning the same way. If you're stressed, basically you're in a fight or flight mode, and you're not in a relaxed state, and a relaxed state is needed to properly and healthily digest and absorb the nutrients, the nutrition you eat. Now, if that is because you're stressed, not working properly, and for example, you don't have enough stomach acid to break down the food and to prepare it for, further the journey into your digestive system, into your small intestines and so on, that can actually mean that food particles come into your small intestines where they're not supposed to be there, and that could lead to leaky gut, for example, and a whole lot of other problems, bacterial infection and so on, which, I don't want to go because it's not the story of today, but, definitely it can affect. And it's also, for example, when we eat unhealthy food for us, like processed food, right? Like food we might be intolerant to, such as gluten. Gluten, for example, is a protein that is very difficult to digest by the body. The body struggles. We are, as human beings, are not made to digest gluten, actually. And so, when you constantly eat gluten, and maybe you already have some other issues or so, that gluten intolerance is it's like poison, right? It's like when you have a wound here and, you kind of poke, the wound will get bigger. And that basically happens or can happen to your leaky gut or to your gut, right? And becomes eventually leaky. So, for example, if you eat food that you're intolerant to, gluten, dairy, or so on, that could lead to leaky gut. Things like heavy drinking or smoking, of course, can also be detrimental for this. Nutrient deficiencies, often, all this leads together. Either you don't have enough nutrients, or because your digestion is not working, as I mentioned earlier, you can actually not absorb those nutrients. All those things can contribute to a leaky gut. I mentioned food intolerance and low stomach acid already, they all play a role. Now, one thing that is very important not to forget is trauma, and that's an interesting one, and probably a bit more difficult to find out, but if you have unresolved trauma, that can also be a contributor to leaky gut. And by the way, I mentioned earlier, leaky gut can lead to autoimmune conditions, which, by the way, trauma is as well a contributor. So you definitely, if you had a lot of trauma and if you have issues, you want to dig deeper and work with a holistic practitioner to address that in a holistic way. As I say, a functional nutritionist, a functional doctor, somebody who is trained like I am, of course, as well, will work with you on these things. And of course, poor digestion can also be the reason whatever in your digestive system might not work. So this is something to find out as well with the help of a doctor. And of course, injury or surgery or so, all these kind of things can contribute. But most of the time, what I have found is people with leaky gut often have other issues, gut-related issues, and other health issues, by the way, as well, that I mentioned earlier. And, things like SIBO or IBS, all these things can often be related to a gut, leaky gut. And, one thing leads to the other. So if something is there, you definitely want to dive deeper and check. But now let's talk a little bit more about what can you do about it. And as usual, if you have any questions, please do type them in the comments and, just let me know. And I will also share with you, by the way, my blog post where I share everything about what I'm telling you now, a little bit deeper maybe, in terms of how to overcome your leaky gut and what you can do, and learn a little bit more about it. So the leaky gut is something that I work especially with my clients. And to be honest, though, I will give you some tips, but very often when you have a leaky gut, you need actually to go a little bit deeper, right? So just like Googling leaky gut and what shall I do, quite honestly, is not going to do the trick, right? You definitely want to work with a practitioner together and go a little bit deeper about the reasons. You want to find out the root cause of your leaky gut, and then obviously you can address it. But if you want, I will share with you some of my top tips that I learned, with working with my clients, and of course, doing my specializations and also working on myself, right? That really help to improve your leaky gut and your gut health overall. So the first one is definitely my top one, is consume fermented foods. Fermented foods are high in probiotics, and probiotics, as probably you know, are super important for your gut health and can definitely help restore a, leaky gut, or especially gut bacteria, and improve digestion. And if your whole digestive system works better, that can also eventually repair your gut lining, which has been maybe affected. So the good news is actually that your gut can regenerate itself within actually days and weeks. It can be very quick, and that's really great news. So unless you have permanently damaged maybe your colon or so, that maybe rupture or something like that, but all the other things can really heal relatively quickly, provided of course you do the right thing. So you need to give your gut a break. You need really to give lots of tender loving care, and that is not only the food but also a couple of other things like stress management techniques and so on. So start with adding more fermented foods, probiotic rich foods to your nutrition. So things like kimchi or sauerkraut are really great good things that you could add. You can also add yogurt. I really like kombucha. So there are a lot of things that you can add. And also remember, prebiotics are very important, which basically are found in a lot of vegetables. So you want definitely add the vegetables, which brings me to the second point, is to add fiber, right? And fiber, of course, is also part of the whole prebiotic help you get, for basically that feeds your gut bacteria, your healthy gut bacteria. But also fiber helps strengthening the gut lining and help heal the damage that might be done to it. And it helps, very importantly, to remove toxins from the body and of course from your gut, and reduce inflammation. So it's very important to note, however, that certain gut issues you might want to go slowly in increasing fiber. So if you have gut issues, especially things like, for example, colitis or so, then you want definitely to look into working with a practitioner, to increase your fiber slowly, so you're not getting too many issues. In any case, I always would recommend, always check with your healthcare practitioner if whatever, you come across, no matter if it's what I'm telling you or what you read on the internet, is good for you. I don't know you, so whatever might have helped me or maybe my clients is not necessarily helping you. So you want to check. It's a very personalized thing of nutrition, I feel, no matter if it's supplements or food or so. And you want, in either case, you want always to increase fiber slowly. Most people don't eat enough fiber. The average American eats under 10 gram of fiber, whereas ideally we should have 35 to 50 gram of fiber, depending of course on our size and all that. But if, let's say, you are under the 10, you don't want to go suddenly to 50, because I can tell you, you're gonna otherwise suffer. So you go very slowly. And you find fiber in especially fruits and vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds. So, these things you can slowly increase and add more to your diet. The next point to help you with leaky gut and your overall gut, and by the way, very great tip also to overcome cravings, is to add more omega-3 fatty acids. These help basically to reduce inflammation, and has also very positive effect on your brain and on your neurotransmitters, and that helps with cravings, by the way. And reducing inflammation of course helps you to support your overall health and especially your gut health. So you can find that in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, nuts and seeds. Flax seeds is really a great source. Chia seeds as well, but this especially of course for vegetarians or vegans, they can add this. And then the tip number 4 is one of my favorite, and I have one in my fridge, is bone broth. Now I do regularly bone broth. It's probably one of the healthiest gut foods or drinks, I don't know how you want to say it, in the world, in my opinion. Really, bone broth is so great for the gut in terms of allowing to repair the gut lining, to strengthen it. It helps you right to overcome a lot of other issues that you might have in your gut. It's really great for your bacteria, and it helps you also, for cravings, and it helps you with amino acids. The gelatin in it is really great. Lots of minerals that you find as well. So bone broth is great food. It's, by the way, also really great for your immune system if you want to boost that. Normally I have bone broth when I get a cold or so. So definitely go with the bone broth for helping your gut digestive system and everything. And if you have leaky gut, to improve that, I would recommend actually having a bone broth probably 2 to 3 times a week, like in general. Now, of course, should you be vegetarian, again, a good replacement would be vegetable broth, right? It's not the same, though. You will not find the same goodness that you get from the bones. And you can, by the way, also do fish bone broth, which is also super healthy. So it's either beef bones or chicken bones, or fish bones, or a vegetable, which, as I say, is not the same. But it's still better than nothing, right? So as you see, many things to help with your gut. Overall, remember, these are special tips. As I mentioned, it's always good to work with a healthcare practitioner or with somebody, like me. And if you have any questions around leaky gut, if you think you have leaky gut or maybe some other gut issues, or you struggle with weight loss or cravings, please do let me know, and I would love to jump on a call with you and help you, find out a little bit more about you and help you personally. There's always either a link here, or you can just comment, and I will reach out to you. And lastly, just a little note I want to share, an excitement. I am preparing a summit. A summit is basically an online event which will be over 4 days, happening in June, and it's called the Food Freedom Festival. And I'm interviewing over 25 experts in food, in nutrition, in hormones, in cravings, addiction, weight loss, etc., etc. All kind of specialists come together. There are nutrition coaches, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, special practitioners, healers, and so on, that I interview over 4 days. I'm working on it. You will see it over 4 days, and they will share their wisdom, and you will learn so much. So I just want to tell you that already. I did some interviews today and yesterday, so I'm all excited. I actually learned so much myself, I must say. I have so great speakers on this year's summit. So watch for the announcement. We're probably going to start sharing this in the next few days. Actually, we're just finalizing, our website for that, etc. So you have it all together. There will be this is the event for me. It's probably the one event per year I'm organizing, which I'm really proud of and super excited about. So watch it. It's called the Food Freedom Festival, and so look out for my announcement coming very soon. Great for having you here for my weekly video here, and this week was about how to repair leaky gut naturally. If you have any questions, please do share them in the comments here. Let me know, and I look forward to meeting you and helping you repairing your gut or whatever other issues you have. My name is Andrea Caprio, and thank you so much for being here with me. Bye bye.